I promised I'd introduce Mike, who's just about to get... I persuaded him to stay in bed long enough so that you can meet him and Trixie Bell, who always comes in for her morning rub. Of course, Trover is still asleep, having been expanding all night. So Mike's job at this point of the day is to take the dogs out. So we'll have to say goodbye to him, and we'll see him a bit later on and see how his day unfolds. It's very foggy out there today, so are you going to say good morning?
Good morning.
Trixie Bell is in the habit of giving multiple kisses, which can get a bit slimy. You can probably hear the water running. So the plumbers have arrived. There's a hose leading up into the loft. It always makes me nervous when I hear running water. But I think we found this main stopcock. It's down by Jesus in the piazza. I'll show you later. But of course, Mike is out with the dogs at the moment, so it's left to me to be able to find these things. So watch this space. Hopefully water will be flowing in the correct direction. All my hot water seems to be flowing down the drain in the bathroom. I'm sure this is not a good plan, but it's obviously part of the master plan, so I'm just going to have to live with it. Poor Sarah is trying to brush her teeth in a lot of steam. So we'll wait and see what happens next. Mike is now back from the dogs. I've dealt with the plumbers, and it's time for breakfast. As a diabetic, we have to keep an eye. Oh, he's throwing the shreddies out of the pram. We have to keep an eye on what Mike has to keep an eye on what he's eating. This is his amazing workshop. And he's actually working. He's so quiet, I didn't see him. What are you doing, Mike?
I'm just setting up a spindle for the clock spring.
As you can see, Mike is an amazing clockist. What do you call it?
Is it what?
What are you if you're a clockmaker? He's a very shy animal. He's disappeared again. What's the technical term? Pardon? No, you're not an amateur muddler. You're an amazing clock. He's designed and made clocks. Well, he's made one, and this is the next one he's going to do, which I love, which is the grasshopper escapement. But now other people are always coming up and asking him to fix their clocks.
A grasshopper escapement, which I've just made a mock-up just to check that everything works properly. And when it does, I shall continue to clean it all up and turn it into a clock. There we go.
Can I say he not only makes all the parts, but he actually designs the mechanism. And if that's not elegant, I don't know what is. It reminds me of that clock in, where was it? Cambridge, is it?
Yes.
What was it called?
The chronophage.
The chronophage. This is a mini chronophage.
Corpus Christi.
At Corpus Christi. I don't need to repeat everything he says, actually. That's amazing.
That's just an MDF mock-up just to make sure everything works.
So, are you a horologist?
Well, not really.
Well, isn't that what you call people like you? So you can see it's a magnificent workshop. It has actually at the moment got all the stuff for the solar panels in it, and we're making a special, well, we were making a space for Freya to do her wood carving here, but it seems to, as usual, it seems to have been taken up by other things. And I'm going to show you Mike's lathe. I can't tell you anything about it because I don't know anything about it. Is that the CNC machine, Mike? The red one?
It's the miller.
Or the miller, sorry.
Converted to CNC use.
Right. And what are you doing now?
I'm putting this piece of steel in the lathe just to face that off.
What does that mean? Oh.
To face it off is just to put the square end on it.
I think you have to be very patient to do something like this. And patience is something I was born without. It's completely lacking in my genes. And that's your, is that called a micrometer?
That's a vernier caliper, yes.
Oh right, I think that means he's measuring it.
1.75 off.
I think I should have put this on a tripod, I'm getting wobble. Oh dear, it's 20 to 10. 10 o'clock is coffee time for the plumbers and I haven't got any cakes, so I'm going to have to quickly make some fairy cakes. Oven on at number 4 and get the recipe book out. I might just get them cooked in time. Cake cases into the patty tin, and I'm a bit fed up with white ones. I've got some coloured ones, but they are a bit small, so we'll see, because normally I use the big muffin ones, so we'll see how these work out, whether they overflow. I feel like a bit of colour in my life this morning, it being a grey day. Another top tip, my butter was in the fridge. As usual, I'm chasing my tail, so I just put the butter and the sugar, which I'm going to beat together, in the microwave, and it works perfectly well, even if the butter's melted. So there we go, top tip of the morning. So that's 150 grams of butter and 150 grams of sugar. Just got to the bit of the recipe where they say you want 3 eggs, and I've run out, so I'm off to the shops, back in 2 minutes. Literally whizzed down to the shops and back on an island 3 miles by 1. Anything's possible really quickly. And so I've got my eggs. I'm going to crack on. The plumbers are going to have a bought cake today because it's not going to be ready in time. I'm going to try a chocolate chip cupcake, which is a basic sponge with some chocolate chips in it, basically. Yesterday I did one with white chocolate and that went up really well. So we'll now try one with dark chocolate. Just supposing I've got some, I'll have to check that out. So I've got, just recapping, we've got, I've whipped up, beaten up the butter and sugar, and I'm now going to add the eggs. Right, so another quick tip, it says in the recipe, add the eggs gradually, whisking well between. I just tip the whole lot in, haven't got time for that, and whisk the whole lot up together, and there we have it. I'm just about to put the flour in, and that is 150 grams of self-raising flour. I've managed to find some chocolate, which is good. I whisked up the eggs into the the butter and sugar mix, and then folded in 150 grams of self-raising flour and lots of vanilla, because I just love vanilla. So now I'm going to do something with this chocolate. I wonder if I can break it up into... I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Oh, scissors. That's the... I use scissors in the kitchen a lot more than most people. Incidentally, I don't bother to sieve my flour. It doesn't seem to make any difference to my cakes. And I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing. I'll try and lift this up a bit. So I use scissors for cutting the pastry round a flan tin. I use scissors for cutting crusts of bread. Oh, I love it. Oops, dropped a bit in the do. Right. So I'm going to use about 75 grams of chocolate in these cakes. Oh, dear, I made tea for the plumbers but forgot Mike and Sarah, so there. I better do that next. I'll just get this in the oven, because obviously the oven has now been on for quite a while. So that's what's in the bowl. I hope you can see it. Goodly lumps of chocolate. Right. I think it needs a bit more, actually. going to put just a bit more. So we're now up to about 100 grams of chocolate in here. I'm sort of cutting it, sort of working into a sort of zigzag pattern, which works quite well. Right, that will have to do. Now, spoon. I'm not going to show you the way I put them into the cupcake holders because I'm hopeless at it. And fingers get involved, so it's not really right to do it on camera. So I'll just I'm just going to put the mixture into the cupcake holders. Right, what's that?
I had to take the old spring out, broken spring. Put
This is the clock spring. This is a clock spring.
Yeah, which I finished, so I just brought it out to say I finished.
And so inside
you
there...
didn't see the process.
Well, I'm sorry, I was buying eggs at the time.
I see.
What's...
There's a coil spring inside there.
You can't take the back off then,
because it'll... to the outside and the inside, so that is where you wind up with the key.
Oh, right. And you had to make tools in order to make...
I had to make a cage, so I could wind the new spring up tight, slip the cage over it, take the tension off, then put the case over the outside, wind the tension back on again so you get the cage out, wind the tension back out so it settled down in its own cage, and put the cover back on. Well, that's it.
And if you followed all that, you're cleverer than I am.
There's a new spring in its cage, being put back into the clock, and when you tell it to strike, it starts to strike. Yeah.
I can't hear anything.
No, you won't. It's not attached to the hammers at the moment, but the mechanism runs, you see, according to when you switch it on. Spring's running down.
Actually, I'm having a crisis with my cakes because my gas has run out.
Oh.
It doesn't last very long in those blue cylinders.
Right, in that case, we were going to do something about it.
One of the hazards of living on an island is that the gas comes in gas bottles, not piped. So now and again we run out, and we've run out while I'm in the middle of cooking cakes. But luckily I think they've got to the stage where they are sort of risen, so I think we're going to be okay, but keep your fingers crossed. Well, there are the cakes. I'm not sure whether they're cooked or not, so I'll have to try one and I'll let you know. Meanwhile, outside Mike is changing the gas cylinder. Absolutely yummy. Couldn't be better. I'm thrilled to bits, despite all the trials and tribulations. I don't think I'm going to see very much on this. Gosh. When do we get hot water back?
Hopefully later today.
Oh, brilliant.
Hopefully. But I'll get the pipes on, but I've got to get the flow and returns on the heating side going yet.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get them off. I've already got the hot water connected up and the cold going in, so I should get that going soon.
It's a pretty horrible place to work, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not very nice. It's getting warm up here now.
Well, if you want to, I've got a big fan.
Yeah, that's alright, that's fine.
I don't want you passing out up here in the black coal of Calcutta.
That should be alright.
This is Mike's clock, which he designed himself, and I think is absolutely beautiful. You can see the Y-shaped pendulum moving behind there, and the weights hanging down. You wind it up by winding the weights up. He really is amazingly clever, and I'm just so lucky to be married to him. Not only is he really great at making clocks, but he can also fix absolutely anything that I break on a regular basis. And as you can see, he's connecting gas up for me today, and he's just an amazing man. I think I probably should appreciate him more. That's my thought for tomorrow. That's my super lifer thought. It's been a difficult day today, one way and another, but we've come out of it smiling. We've got some hot water, the right road for the gas, and I've got some brilliant chocolate cakes. What more could a woman want?